brother, my friend, Mr. Keith Woolridge.
Thank you, man. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Today is a good day.
And we are talking about Keith Woolridge's two great books, 5 Pillars and Decisions from the Dais.
Yes.
5 Pillars of School Board Governance in the Post-Pandemic World. Man, there's so many different things I want to talk to you about when it comes to this book and your books. And we want to congratulate 5 years on 5 Pillars.
5 years, man. Come March, April will be 5 years. But what's interesting, it started writing it this time 5 years ago.
Wow. And then you got into the second book, encouraged me with my second book.
Yes.
And so I'm excited to talk about this. And, I've always asked you, who can this help? Who does this book help? Who do these books help? And don't worry about it. What can be done with these books for? Who are these books for?
Oh, that's a great question.
For?
All right. I think my 5 Pillars book is for anybody who has any level of leadership, governance, whether it be an elected official like myself, or you may sit on a board of directors for a nonprofit.
Okay.
Or you just lead in the church. You're the deacon in the church, or you're just Mr. and Mrs., how do I say this? Everyday Joe Blow who's got a dream, who's got a goal, who's got some responsibility for others. Because I firmly believe before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. So from a practical standpoint, decisions from the Dais are those people that are thinking about becoming an elected official or are elected officials on how we behave from the Dais. You've probably heard the news over the last couple of years, how school boards and other government officials have lost their mind. How we have just the rules of governance, of the decorum, how to handle yourself in the public square is now a thing of the past. And I try to give some tips on what to do and how to behave. Or so if you're currently there, as a reminder, or if you're thinking about it, what you should be looking for. Because there's so much dysfunction out there right now in the public square. So that's what Decisions is for. And again, 5 Pillars was just my ode to my dad. Because you remember in 2020 when the world shut down.
Yeah.
And then we had the George Floyd incident.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what's going on in our society? Chaos was ubiquitous. It was running amok. And my dad, again, I lost him in 2010. He was kind of my lodestar. He was the guy I would go to. So when I was at my computer, you've been up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what that's like.
All the time.
Everybody at 4. So I was at my computer, I was doing some surfing, just doing some internet surfing. And my dad's picture, you have your family cabinet, the mementos and things of that nature. And I kind of looked over and I was like, Daddy, man. And I heard, what did I teach you? So how do I make sense of this? So what did I teach you? Now, I don't know if that was from the spirit or above, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Absolutely.
And then I just started writing. And then first thing he taught me, be a person of integrity. I said, that's what's missing in our current environment, 2020. Society has been slipping down a little bit. So those 5 pillars, integrity, perseverance, decency, courage, all undergirded by faith. Because you need them all. You need faith to undergird it, because it may not go right at the beginning of the time, right? So that's what 5 Pillars is about. So I'm really doing a second edition that I'm writing it for young people. I am fortunate enough to teach in my local community college. And our young people, they're looking for certain virtues in our leadership in this country. They don't see it.
So how important is it for someone I'll say this the nice way, with this administration, how can this really help, or what can somebody do to be able to be helping this administration?
It's an accountability. When you look at this administration and you look at these virtues that we say as a country we uphold, do we or do we not uphold integrity in this country? That's the question. If we say yes, we hold people accountable. Do we uphold decency as a virtue in this country. If we say yes, we hold people accountable. So my book is a mirror. People say they want decency. Well, okay, you're not being decent, Doc. Why should we continue to govern us and lead us? Let's call this. Why should we? We say we want decency. Well, we should probably have those that govern us that exhibit said quality. My book is a mirror, and mirrors sometimes show us ourselves. We have to look within ourselves and judge ourselves, lest we what? Be judged. Be judged. Be judged. So that's what my two books are about, man. They're mirrors for you. Okay. Now, are these books about being perfect? No. They're guideposts. Look at them as when people are going bowling. You know, the new bowlers, you put those bumper rails in there. That's some kiddie. Yeah, kiddie bowl. And that's where we are in some of our leadership. They're kiddies. These are to keep people within the rails. Okay. So that's who it's for. So again, if you read anything, it's a church, school district, county board of supervisors, president of the United States, there's certain things we can no longer compromise in this country. And we've done it for what? At our own demise. So that's what these texts are about. You know, I'm not asking for perfection, but there's certain things you just got to go. And there's a fundamental basics, man. And here's one. Here's a fundamental basic, like obeying the law. You should get no reward for obeying the law. That's just basics. I'm talking ethics and integrity goes beyond them. Kind of like your kids when they go, hey, look, Dad, I washed the dishes, and you go, what you want me to do? Yeah, exactly right. You dirty them. You want a reward for doing what you're supposed. That's what my book is about. Both of them, man. And I know it isn't a popular subject in today's world. Character traits that hold us accountable while we must walk circumspectly. Right. Ain't popular now. This is a very me, myself, and I selfie generation. So when you say you're gonna do this for the young people, the revised versions, right, are gonna be for young people. What do you think? Why is that? And what do you think young people, do we need younger people on our school board? Do we need younger people to be able to help, in that? Is that the goal? I think the goal is to inform and engage a younger generation because our generation, to a certain extent, have blown it. We have not modeled the best for them because in 20 years, they will be the leaders. That volume picks it all up. No problem. Yeah. No, Brother Bernard, he's been a blessing to me today, so I don't care about that. Our conversation earlier today. No, our younger people will be leading tomorrow. Because you can't be what you can't see. We talk about that all the time. If we're modeling a certain level of character for our young people, what are they going to do? Model it. And then who's going to be in trouble? So we have to, as we say, teach them now. Raise up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not. So I believe we need to start now. So we're going to be doing a guidebook that's going to be coming along with the anniversary of this one. We're also working on some online courses for these young people. Again, my 18, I look at this, my children are now 21, 28, I think is my oldest, right? So that's my target, that generation. Where I'm 58, 57 years old now. There's a little wisdom that I can impart to them. Because I'm not thinking about tomorrow, D. I'm thinking of 20 years from now. What do we want the country to look like? Because in 20 years, 26-year-old will be leading corporations. Yeah. So what does the third book look like then? What is coming to your mind for the third book? I mean, you got 5 pillars, descendants from the Dais. What would the third book be? I may do something on business, leadership in business. I enjoy business. I consider myself a professorpreneur, right? I believe all business professors need to practice.
Absolutely.
So we're not bringing just a textbook to our students. We are actually working and testing, putting into place what we talk about. So if I do a business, look, the 5 business of entrepreneurship or small business ownership. I'm still mulling it around, but there will be a third. It may be 5 years from now, but there'll be a third. There'll be a third.
What do you think? We talk about this a lot, and you're passionate about it. We're talking about being that professional at BC. What do you see with this next generation? We talk about it, but I want you to talk about what do you see with this next generation, or what are you seeing as young men and women are coming to BC? What's your pros? What are the things that make you happy, and what are the things that really get you right now?
What makes me happy is that they're there.
Okay.
What hurts my heart is the lack of belief in themselves.
Where does that start?
Oh, that starts early in life. That starts in the home. That starts in our churches. That starts in our Boys and Girls Club. A lot of our young people are very talented. They're very gifted. But what they don't possess is belief that they can.
Yeah.
And I've seen that across the board. I'm seeing that across ethnic groups that our young people have lost hope that tomorrow will be better than it was for their parents. We're that generation. These are our children. If you're 15 plus 45 to 55, you have 18, 19, 21, 22 years old. These are our kids who lack hope, who lack confidence, self-esteem, purpose, belief. And I said this to you before because I know you do an excellent job helping athletes get scholarships. When I look at our African-American young boys on that campus, it hurts my heart deep. They come broken. I'm broken. Just no spirit in the eye. Hoodie on, walking across, and we spend more time. See, I tell young teachers this now. Content is the easiest thing to teach. Character is where the work begins. That's tough. It's easy for me to teach accounting. That's content. I can teach you a debit and a credit. What type of human being will you be? That's hard. That's where the education is. I can teach you the 4 P's or 5 P's of marketing. That's content. That's ball. But what type of CEO will you be? That's the question we have to answer. And that goes back to 5. That goes back to 5 pillars. That goes back to decisions from the Dais. These are complementary texts.
I have to say, for those that will tune in, that if you have a student that's at BC, you got to take Mr. Wolaridge's classes. And tell us a little bit more. What classes do you teach at BC?
Okay. I have the wonderful opportunity of teaching our Introduction to Business course, our Personal Finance course, our Entrepreneurship course. I'm going to be doing Human Relations over the summer.
All right.
I think that's 4 that are kind of my area. And again, from a 17 to 70, I'll take, right? That's what the community college is all about. And it's a blessing, man. It's definitely a blessing because, again, for some, it's a fresh start. Some it's a second start. It's an opportunity. And we've talked about this, that our local community colleges are not consolation prizes. We have to stop seeing them as such.
Right.
You can get a good quality education at a fraction of the cost.
Right.
Right. But again, it's a mentality that we have to get over when it comes to California community colleges. So
That's very true, and so excited to be able to be able to tell people that and hear you say that, as well as that people know that Mr. Wolaridge is a board member and a brother, and a mentor in the Man Up Foundation, and work with a lot of our boys. Drops by, always by, speaking, teaching, and It's amazing, man, to know that. But I'm glad that parents can know they can drop their kids off and say, hey, you're going to pick that business course. Introduction to business. I'll do a truncated version for your students, right? Because it's important. Like I said, especially for the man up population. Yeah. Belief. Yeah. You can't be what you don't see. Right. Right. I had a student tell me in my class, you're the first African-American professor I've ever had. Wow. Ever. How important. Oh, I have guys who, we have what's called a Rising Scholars Program. They come out of prison now. They want to turn their lives around. I had a brother tell me that a couple of days. He said, I've been at Chino. I've been at Corcoran. I've been at, what's another one? Pelican Bay. He's been there. He said, he's been there. He says, you're the first black teacher I've ever had in my entire life, and I'm 47 years old. Did you hear what I just said? And you and I think they had it, and I don't know if they still have it. We talked about this last year, the importance of that, especially for our young black men that are going to school in elementary, junior high, high school, starting that program where we're encouraging more young African-American men to go and just be a substitute. Be a substitute. So these young men can see a black man, in a position that they may not see at 3:05 when they get out of school and they go home. That's right. You know what? I met Mr. Wolaridge today, and he's right. He loved on me. That's right. You know what I mean? He got on me and loved on me, and guess what? I'll be glad when he come back. Sometimes I wish you just leave me alone. Good, I've done my job. Because you'll thank me in 20 years. Yeah. You'll thank me. Because to your point, man, a lot of our young men, they're so talented, they're so gifted, but something has been taken out of them. And it bothers me, B. It just bothers me. Because we are beautiful people. But something that's been just, yeah. I'm going to tell you something that you did. And I know 5 Pillars. I have the book. I have both books. And it's not there, but I think I'm gonna put something in your spirit. And we did it with Man Up. It's a 10-week workbook. But I think there's something that's cultivating in you, and there's some type of workbook, something that takes a kid or a person from reading to action, to some type of something that will put them to say, man, I got the book. Now I got the workbook, and I'm doing the workbook. I was telling you about influence. Yes. And Rocky Fleming, he does this, and you read the book, but then there's a journal, and then there's something else. What? And those things really help me in having the book and a workbook to go along with it. Another group of men that do something like that are the Kendrick brothers, who make all the movies, who just made the movie with the young man. I just saw that with the young man. It's like the Mighty Men of Valor. What was the movie called? I'm not familiar with it. The movie just came out. It'll come to me in a second. But it was The Forge. Okay. The Forge. Amazing movie. And the Kendrick brothers are the guys that made War Room. Okay. They made the movie where one was an officer. He lost his daughter. And everything that they do, they have a series of books and workbooks that come with it. Maybe that's what I'll do then. That you can now, because I think the world is very much so interactive. And it was a question I asked you, like, how much do you think people actually want to read? And I don't read, so that's and you're selling books, and people are selling books, but how many people are like actually taking that time, sitting down, reading? Something me and the producer talks about a lot when he talks about ebooks and different things like that. But workbooks that put me into the chapter, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Joe Osteen, Joyce Myers. When they sell a book, they sell a workbook to go with it. And I think a workbook with 5 pillars, like, what can I be doing integrity-wise every day to help myself, where I can gauge that? This is being taped, so I can go back and listen to this. I mean, and for me, that's how I learn. That's how I get better. Okay. As I was talking about my journal. Right. Like this. It's actually writing it down, and then being back and say, okay, I didn't reach that goal, but look what I did do. All right, so I can give 5 executable points and steps to get there. Absolutely. Okay, like a guidebook. Yeah, guidebook, but it comes to it, and it's like, you know what? I do this daily. This is something I do. And maybe that's my job.
No, that's all right. Because you're an excellent John Maxwell coach, right? So that's what you do, right? So,
And then again, that's where I got it, working with John Maxwell. In our leadership team, there's not a book that we don't have a workbook and a facilitator's guide that we use that we don't teach something with.
ooh, a facilitator's guide.
Yeah, and so now,
We're brainstorming that.
well, could you imagine now you want to sell more books? So here's my entrepreneurial part that comes out. You want to sell more books,
Right. Or tell the story more.
Well, you want to sell more books. You want to tell the story more. How much more will it be? How much better would it be for you to train 20 other people to teach the 5-pillar book at their church, at their company, by buying the kit and having a facilitator go through the class with you online, buy the kit and go teach it at their church, at their office?
Man, that's what we're talking about. Because I can only be one place at a time.
There you go. So now I took the course. Now I'm the facilitator, and this is what happened. How did I meet Dr. Kenneth?
Dr. Kenneth Robinson. Oh, magnificent.
Taught me Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell. I'm like, who is this John Maxwell? I go, I study, I spend $7,000, take the course, become a life coach, do all this stuff. But I had a workbook. I had a facilitator's guide. I became discertified. And we go from there. Another amazing book that I'm on now with John Maxwell. Many people communicate, few connect.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yes.
Phenomenal. Okay. But when you read the workbook, it's all in the conversation. Communicating is great, but connecting is greater. So in the workbook, I just think, you're seeing, okay, I see multiple things, and now trying to get people to be more interactive with what they do. Okay. I would be amazed if Women Thou Art Loose didn't have a workbook to help those women continue to unravel all those things that Dr. Jakes worked on for many, many years. So now you got the Woman Thou Art Loose kit. Get this whole kit now, $99. You got the book, poster, and now you're following along with it. And now you get a facilitator guide. And now maybe you don't have to, you go to the conference. But when you go to the conference, there's facilitators and people who all have the certificate of going through the 6-week, 5-week, or the 10-week Women Thou Art Loose program, or the Manpower program, or the 5-pillar program. Right. So I think those become ways to do it.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people right now, we are in a generation that everybody is about selling books, and I'm writing the book, and I'm doing it. Everybody's not putting together a whole workshop in a box to be able to really get it out. And Rocky Foreman and the influencers group that I attended is phenomenal in doing that. And I think it's easy to sit down and go, you know what, this first chapter on integrity, I got to do this for the next 7-8 days, and it's testing me in this, and I got to come back. Now I'm going to read the second chapter, because now I'm involved in it.
Okay.
Instead of now, because how many books we got just sitting on the shelf.
Okay. And I do want the audience, when they read and to get the guidebook now, okay, to put it into practice. Execution is everything, right? We had this conversation with my daughter. You all blessed her, and I'm so grateful for that. I told her that we have to execute. There you go. You've got the information. So
I got the bill, and now we got to execute it. When I have the book, the only execution is to read it. How do I apply it?
And that's what, thank you. It's the application of the principles is what's going to make the difference.
There it is. And sometimes I'm not going to be able to apply it until I go and apply for the job, or I get in that position. I may say, well, I'm not even in that position. I read the book and it was really good, but I wasn't able to practice on it.
And for the generation I want, they do need to execute. They do need to practice.
Absolutely.
Brother, that is an amazing. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm going back to the drawing board. What it was about. But that's all right.
But let's tell our audience and those that are watching and watch later, how do they get your book?
Okay, they can go either two ways. They can go to Amazon and get them. Okay. Or if you want your signed copy, a little note by me, you can go to www.5pillars.me/books. That's www.5pillars.me/books. that will come to me. My website is secure, so you ain't got to worry about nothing happening to you that way.
Yeah.
I will get your order, and I will personally sign both copies for you.
And then get ready for the work. Get ready for the workbook.
Workbook
Whole kit. It's going to come with the 5 pillars. It's going to come with everything you need to do. It's going to come with a workbook and a journal so you can journal, all for $199. You can set my price point. I think that's fair. That's all right. Hey, man, this has been great. Let's talk about it with Keith Wolaridge. We're going into Black History Month. I want to remind you as we started out, this is what we did last year about this time. We talked about we were going to come in and bring people in from the community that are doing stuff. Black History Month, we want you to, understand this is a man in your community here in the city of Bakersfield who has written 2 outstanding books. Support him, support yourself, your own dream and what you want to do, and go out and do it, man. And remember, Mr. Wolaridge, if you have a young student that is going to BC, they need to take Intro to Business. Business, BSA D20. Look, he even know the code to get BSA D20. Don't do it. You're an entrepreneur, take the class. All right?
Man, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Slide it. They should be going out now.